We back like the Juggernaut, bitch. This is Alex Lexus, Shinwar. I'm always in Brother Nuke mode. He's not here. Screw him. Oh, they stop. Nuke, pass your exam, sucker. We got Shin Takuma on your knees and co-CEO, co-producer Nelson. And our current topic is the Rated M Power Ranger video.
Not for kids.
Ooh-wee. Let me tell you.
What you been looking at?
Let me tell you. And I know Shinwar is a big Power Ranger fan, so he'll have a good thing to say with this. But
no, I don't. Make it real quick and simple. Go ahead.
Shinwar's a Power Ranger fan. If he had a Red Ranger suit, he'd be wearing it.
What?
I shouldn't be talking to you guys. I'll probably wear it too. So anyway.
Shut up.
But
you got a Red Ranger suit, a clown dog.
Unbelievable.
I'm
Why you
done,
throwing him on the
yo.
bus? Look, we're all Power Ranger fans. Let's not fake the fun. Alright? Apparently, this new, darker version of Power Rangers, a pilot video was put out there in a similar fashion to that, what was that MK Legacy? That pilot video where it was like really dark, but it was like a real world reboot to the series, and I thought that was excellent. Michael Jai White was in there, you know.
Yeah, he was
Jax.
Yeah, I remember.
Or Jackson.
He was Jackson. Everybody, he was going over like all the characters and everything else. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. Now you see that dark approach. Yeah, MK is already dark, but that the way that they did that was pretty cool. Now, going to this Power Rangers, I think. Number one, the adults in our age group that still like Power Rangers, this really appeals to them because that's something where like, damn, that's like some. It was like Michael Bay / Verhoeven, in terms of Starship Troopers. Like this thing was gritty. You know, you had some people getting popped like, what was that? Departed, like you know,
Right.
Leonardo DiCaprio style. Like what the heck, you know? But
I'm like.
I'm trying to keep this spoiler free, but there's a major plot twist at the end of it, and just
by mentioning this plot twist, you spoiled it, Alex.
No, you'll see.
Yeah, you can't mention plot twist because then people are going to expect something out of nowhere.
Well, okay,
you gotta leave that shit out.
No, I mean it's good to the point where you'll be like, what the hell? Like,
you're making it worse by continuing to talk about it.
Shut up! Mess me up.
Next.
But my thing is, I know Jason David Frank weighed in on Facebook, and he didn't slam it, but he wasn't really for it. You know, I think he played a good balance in saying that, you know, Power Rangers is for the kids, you know, but the kids, the original folks in the U.S., you know, we saw Power Rangers. I remember that first episode when they released Rita and you had those astronauts on the moon doing their thing or whatever. That generation that started watching Power Rangers then, they're grown now. And this Power Rangers pretty much was like, wow, this is cool. You know? So, yeah, I think that Jason David Frank made a good point where the problem with what he had with it is trying to separate, you know, those worlds, because they are Power Rangers, but they're killing people or people are killing them and all this other stuff. You know, it was really dark. But then if you go to Nickelodeon, those same Power Rangers are like the kiddie stuff. You know what I'm saying? So he made a good point there. But honestly, I don't hate it. I actually love what they did with it. And it appeals to a different demographic, the more mature original fans of the series. But I'm only speaking for myself, but giving everybody a chance. Shinwar, what are your thoughts?
I'll go last. Let everybody go.
Alright, Shin Takuma, your thoughts. Since you
All I gotta say is that people in the podcast, if you didn't go see it, check it out. Because when my first impression was, I was thinking, is this an actual movie? Is this real life? I'm like, are Power Rangers really going dark now? Because it is. It gripped me. I'm like, yo, this is decent. This is neat. And I was like, I was really impressed by it. So I couldn't send it for anything. I was thinking like, okay, like some of them were watching like all the Batman series, the Dark Knight series, and the last Superman. I'm like, they were actually killing people, and the Power Rangers, the way their whole background story, it was awesome. I loved it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's what the people who were watching Power Rangers back when I was a kid and everything else, growing up, that's I kind of want to see. I mean, I kind of understand the whole separation from the kid version to the adult version, but the adult version, it was kind of dark and mysterious. I liked it. I wanted to see more of it, but I understand the whole thing about the producer of the actual Power Rangers. You know, he's
Saban is acting up.
Yeah, he's acting up crazy. I'm like, why? Because you should be like, yo, wait a minute. On second thought, a bell should go off and be like, hey, I probably can make some money on this. Think about it.
But
I'm like,
Takuma, to play devil's advocate, the reason why they won't do that, look what happened to the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles film series. You know,
Michael Bay touched it.
No, well, no. Honestly, no. This is nothing to do with Michael Bay. The original, the first Turtles movie.
From the 90s. Okay.
Yeah, that first Turtles movie that was dark. It was gritty. It wasn't gratuitously violent, but it was like if the Turtles were real, that was them.
Yeah.
You know, they actually took them from the comic book pages and placed them in real world.
Yeah.
Now, with that, it was successful because you had a group of folks that it still, you know, paid homage to the comics and everything. It was still relatable, but it wasn't so gory that people getting arms cut off or whatnot. I mean, not like that Flash video that Onion sent me years ago. What if the Turtles actually used their weapons and were killing people?
Oh yeah, that shit.
You know what I mean?
That shit was good though on Newgrounds.
Yeah.
That
Now the thing with this, it's like, you know, even with that, they played to the mature audience with that first Turtles movie. Now you get to Turtles 3, and you know the only reason why Turtles 3 to me was a failure is because the parents kept complaining of how violent it was, and then they completely jacked up the series. Same thing happened to RoboCop. Remember RoboCop 1 and 2?
We're both rated R, and the
and then RoboCop 3 was a piece of crap.
Don't get me started.
They watered that shit down tremendously. It was awful.
Yeah, so you see what I'm saying? It's like
was kind of like, why am I watching this again? Okay.
No, that's for another day. You know, because I was a fan of the RoboCop reboot.
Power Rangers Dark Side, you know, it kind of opened up a new avenue of a new genre. Like, hey, what if the Power Rangers really did some of this stuff and everything else? What if like they got the old tradition of like going to whoever Zordon and everything else? I mean, what if this is really dark? What if you gave us some more detailed story about the whole background and everything else? It's really decent. I mean, if they do something, I do hope they come to the table together and talk about this because it's really good. I like it. You can keep it separated from the kid version, what you watch on Nickelodeon, versus what we just saw in that video. So I do hope they do come together and
you know, I don't think that's gonna happen.
If they do, you can make some mad money.
You know what? I think it just needs to be a web series and just leave it like that.
Okay, but you need to continue. They need to continue on that. I mean, don't fight with them. Let them continue on that. I want to see where it goes. But that's all I got. It was interesting. You ain't checked it out? Go check it out.
It was movie quality. Like it was something like you can stick that on a movie theater and be like blown away. Like the special effects and everything.
Yeah, because if I saw that, if I went to a movie and actually saw that, I'd be like, like
it was good. It was good. All right, so Nelson, you're
going to be like.
No, I got you. But Nelson, your thoughts on it?
Well, based like I said, I haven't seen it. I just heard a lot of crazy shit all over the internet saying like, "Oh, it was crazy. It was good. They've removed the video, copyright infringement." But Saban,
it already got removed.
World Star, go World Star.
It got removed and all that. But I'm pretty sure there's a couple of websites that's like web hosting it, so they can't take it down and stuff like that. But the thing that got me when I was reading his tweets, okay? I was reading his tweets and...
Whose tweets?
Joseph Kahn, the guy who produced the gritty Power Ranger thing. He says, every image in the Power Rangers is original footage. Nothing was pre-existed. There's no copyright footage of any sort in the actual film. I'm not making any money on this. I refuse to take money from anyone. I have yet to even mention that I did not kickstart this. I even paid for this entire production with my own hard-earned money.
Unbelievable. Yeah. You know what? Honestly, he deserves to get compensated for that. He did a magnificent job.
And he also made a point which makes no sense. Like, this was made to be given away for free, not to be distributed or being like made money for it. It just basically has the concept as if he drew the Power Rangers on a piece of paper and gave it to his friend. That's the concept that he's going with.
Yeah, you
as long as he didn't monetize it, it's considered a transformative work, I believe. Even like if he tried to monetize it, then that's different because he is using the Power Rangers IP, which I probably is still owned. But considering he has if he didn't monetize it at all, that's a bad copy.
Well, the thing is, he only put it up on YouTube at one point, but they took it down because of the copyright infringement. Then he web posted it on I think Vimeo.
Actually, no. Vimeo was first. This is what happened. Let me jump in. This is what happened. He put it up on. He hot tagged. He put it up on Vimeo, and honestly, Vimeo was backing it for the longest until Saban stepped in. Saban was like, listen, take the video down, blah, 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 this is Power Rangers. It was Vimeo that took it down, not Joseph Kahn. It was Vimeo, and Vimeo was still backing it. The only reason they took it down, I forgot something in the, about the law and infringement that they was like, okay, Saban's right. Joseph Kahn went back and put it up on YouTube, which it is still on YouTube right now, has over 1 million views.
I downloaded it just in case they got rid of it.
Right. So, I'm gonna let Nelson finish, and then I'll say what I have to say. Go ahead, Nelson.
But I just find it crazy. Like, come on, man! It's a free fucking movie. Just let it be. I mean, it's not hurting no one. It's not hurting the franchise. You do have your respective audiences that may want to see something like this. That's why it has its own rating. That's why it is what it is. You can't put a censor on something. Like, if that's the case, then make it to the point where kids can't watch it. Make it to that degree.
Look, kids are gonna look. The original RoboCop, right?
Yes.
Kids were not supposed to see that movie, and guess what?
They still win.
Somehow, these little buggers, me being one of them, I turned out all right.
Yep.
Well, see, because
I turned out all right. I saw RoboCop. I saw Peter Weller get blown the hell up, getting Alex Murphy, during the execution scene.
But there's several.
I was like, okay, but parental guidance. You know what I mean? Hey, look, you're watching this movie. This is not real. This, I mean, that's what the issue is. And if you say that this Power Rangers, oh yeah, kids shouldn't see it. Yeah. In theory, they're not supposed to see it, but they're going to see it.
Yeah, but there's several instances, like you just mentioned before. I mean, you have to blame one bad parenting. Like, I don't want to just put that on blast, but some of you guys need to control your kids of what they watch and filter it. Second thing is the people at the movie theaters. Why the fuck are you allowing kids to see this shit? That's another thing.
Mike, thanks for sharing us on Facebook. I got the notice.
Oh, okay. And lastly, you have to blame the people who made the movie. I mean, if you're trying to,
but it's art though. It's like, okay.
No, I get it, but the thing is, if you know how bad the influence is, especially onto little children, you have to be very careful of how the hell you distribute your content, bro. No matter in what form, shape, or way. It's hard, and like you just said,
it's like Nelson. Like, it's like me doing the speed drawings for the channel, right? If I draw something and then all of a sudden I gotta, like, okay, I'm drawing something that's just in my head. It's not to hurt anybody, but it's just like, hey, like I do like another concept for an Onimusha 5, or I do like Balrog, like Shinwar's picture that I drew.
Still ain't get it neither. I still ain't see it.
Yeah, I didn't get my picture either. How many years?
Hold on. Let's stay on topic here.
And the thing is, like,
let's say I draw something like somebody getting punched in a violent manner. That's me just, portraying something that I've seen. You know what I mean? And then that, I got other people, like, it's like Capcom saying, hey, you know what? That's a violent thing. I don't want you to draw that. It's just me drawing. You can't tell me not to do that.
Yeah, but it's like I said, you have these kids who don't... Wait, hold on, let me lower this music down because it's actually kind of loud. But you have these kids that sit there and just won't listen to reasoning.
Then you got Bernie Mac, them kids, rib shots.
And I find it sad Because you have these parents that's like, oh, this ain't gonna hurt my child. It ain't gonna hurt my child. But yet then you have fucking kids shooting up schools and shit. Exactly. Like, what the fuck is wrong with y'all, man? Like
lazy parenting, man. That's what it boils down to. Then they want to blame video games and blame stuff or whatever.
Yeah, I am definitely not going to get into this topic because, like, I talked about this in a previous podcast about how someone in the UK that, like, their brother, like a brother and sister kind of thing.
Oh,
yeah. So I don't want to get involved with that.
Is this a Game of Thrones moment here?
We'll leave it as that. We'll leave it as that.
Filmmaker Sin, you can go check his video out.
Yeah,
about that in detail.
All right. So, lastly, Shinwar, take it home.
Okay.
Your thoughts?
So a couple things. Obviously, it was a fandom. I think if they didn't attach the title Power Rangers to it, it wouldn't be this popular. It wouldn't be this issue. Also, the scale of the fandom is like a movie. So that's another thing. When they do like these fandom videos, it be cheesy and low budget. This had a sense of a movie scale.
Yeah.
And obviously the guy said, he didn't take money. He put his money out. He did contact Jason David Frank. I think Jason David Frank said like a year ago or whatever if he wanted to be into it. But Jason David Frank declined it because he was already... Well, that and he was already signed up to do Green Ranger versus Ryu from Bat in the Sun, which is Saban approved. So we all know how Saban is when it comes to money. He don't mess around.
He wants his money.
And and I can understand Saban like, yo, okay, outside of this is a children's show, this is my, my baby or whatever, this is where I get money and it's on Nickelodeon, blah, blah, blah. But even if you go to the origins of Power Rangers, it's a Super Sentai show from Japan. And if you ever seen a Super Sentai show, it's bloody. Those Power Rangers do die.
They die.
The Green Ranger died. The Time Ranger, the Quantum Ranger from the Japanese version died. He got shot up by lasers and he died. So, and that's just the origins. But when it's imported over into America, it's done. It's right. It's watered down to a children's show. I saw Jason David Frank's. I agree with him. He's like, the cussing and all that. A lot of that stuff is like, dag, this is what happened to Zach. To me, it was funny. Because I'm like, dag, he's snorting coke. I'm like, dag,
the drug use is kind of.
Yeah, it was satire. Now, the story, okay, the story was cool. If you didn't attach Power Rangers to it, you'd be like, okay, whatever. But, the commotion is, it's the Power Rangers title, and it's on Nickelodeon, and all this stuff. So, if a kid goes out and looks at it, blah, blah, blah. But like Nelson said, you gotta be careful how you do this stuff. You gotta be real careful how you do this stuff. The suits was whatever. But I did like the ending of it, and I'm not gonna spoil it, but I did like the ending of how a certain person came. And I was like, alright, cool. But other than that, we may see more, we may not. But just to piggyback on what Alex said about the Ninja Turtles, initially, the Ninja Turtles comic was dark.
Yes.
The 80s cartoon was toned down, was dumbed down. The movie was exactly like the comic. Yes. It started becoming dumbed down when they did part 2 and part 3. But when you look at the 2003 series of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, it was going back to the comic roots, and it was dark for a Saturday morning cartoon show. And this is the last thing I'm going to say, and I may be going off topic, but with the Turtles, there was a particular episode in season 4? No, season 5. Season 5 that... Right? Huh?
The recent Turtles that's on TV now?
No, the 2003 version, season 5 of 2003. There was a particular episode where you find out that there was a character who was a Siamese twin of another character, and they was gonna basically show it, them getting split in half. They took that out. And then they had another show of anybody knows Baxter Stockman. In the 2003 series, anytime he messed up, Shredder would get cut, right? So there was an episode where he was basically Frankenstein looking like Charlie. That episode never aired and was released as a lost episode because it was so graphic for a Saturday morning cartoon. That episode was good. So once again, you got to be careful about what you're putting out to kids. And you know, like Alex said, you know, we as adults, we're like, oh, this is Power Rangers, blah blah blah. But when I saw it, I'm like, don't ruin the Power Rangers. Don't do this to my beloved show. But I understand it's a fandom, and it's like Nelson said, it's really not hurting anybody. But they just got to be careful how they're putting it out.
Yeah, when it boils down to is the reputation of a brand. And they're afraid of how that can impact the general fan base. You know, during the time that Power Rangers was under the Disney umbrella, you know, Disney had money and resources to push it to levels that Saban couldn't. You know, so you know, Power Rangers, like you can ask, like, you know, people in, like, you know, 15, 16, whatever, they know who Power Rangers are. You know, so it's far-reaching, and this, I don't think would hurt Power Ranger. I think it's drawing more attention because it's like, what's the commotion about? Now they're gonna go see it. Then they're gonna go see the other Power Rangers.
One other thing. I'm sorry. One of the big stinks that Saban was making was because, you know, Lionsgate, is it Lionsgate? Oh,
yeah, they're doing the reboot.
They're doing the reboot, and they don't want that fandom to interfere with their vision in the movie that they're doing.
But how will it affect it? I think it can only bring that. You know what? Like, you remember what Triple H was saying about
because it's going to be
it's a reality era, right? Everybody knows what's going on behind the scenes because we're all interconnected. Now they know Saban is beefing with Kahn and whatnot, and they're like, hey, you know what? It's just going to stir up, you know, the flame to go see the movie. It's not going to hurt Saban any. It's not gonna hurt the brand any.
Yeah, but what he's trying to do is just protect his brand. That's all he's doing. That's all he's doing.
Well, I mean,
and I'm telling you, if it wasn't on a bigger scale like it is now, Saban probably wouldn't even care, because people do fandoms all the time.
Yeah, but, that's what I'm saying. Like, you got
but this one it was. You know? Yeah, but this one's more so like, okay, the Red Ranger got shot up in a car. Like, I don't want to see that. Like, it was crazy. Like, yo, or, you know,
it was
Billy Cranston committed suicide. Like, yo, what the heck?
Yeah, it was graphic, but you know what?
A millionaire.
Order fans, I highly suggest you check it out. And
he's promoting it. Unbelievable.
No, that's serious. I want to start like a communication with the audience. Like, leave your comments after you viewed that, and let us know if you think that it'll tarnish the legacy of Power Rangers. I think it can only help. It has a different market, you know, if they do go somewhere with this. And I just think
Transformers,
I think people are overreacting. That's a case in point. You know, it's just.
Now, Alex, let me ask you this: would you let your child look at that? And they say, "Hey, Power Rangers, this is what I see on Nickelodeon."
You asked a good point, and this is gonna kind of tie in the parenting thing. I will not allow my child to see it before they're ready. Now, if my child
before they're ready, what? So you mean to tell me 12 years old? He's like, I'm ready. What?
No, but then you have to.
Ready at 8 years old. Who are you kidding?
No, but that's PG. That's what the parental guidance is. You have to say, hey, look, this is fiction. You know, you have to be there. Like, hey,
Alex, the Black Ranger was snorting coke. Yo,
no.
Come on, yo.
I said the drug use is a questionable element in that. You know, depiction of the Power Rangers. You know, snorting lines is not my thing. You know, and I'll be like, hey, don't do that. This is what can happen to you. It's work to do the parental guidance. That's why, you know, folks are all mad, because it's like they use media as, you know, what was that, babysitter to their kids, instead of just being right there and like, hey, this is what'll happen if you do that. Don't do that. Be a parent. And I'm pretty sure Michael, watching this, will back me up on that. You know what I'm saying? Like, some folks are just. I can go on and on. I don't want this to run for too long. But to wrap this up, and this was excellent topic, and thanks for all contributors in this. But what are your final thoughts before we wrap this segment up? Anybody can jump in.
I like it. I say come to the table, run with it, see what happens. All right. It was free, so, you know, hey, run with it, see what happens.
All right. Shimura, final comments on that topic?
Oh, no, I don't have anything else left to say.
Yeah, he said everything he had to say. Nelson, Chris?
I got nothing on this.
All right.
Anyway.
All right. So with that, people watching live, stick with us. We're going into intermission. I'm gonna let Nelson pick the next topic. For our YouTube folks, please rate, comment, and subscribe. And yes, watch it. Leave your comments below. I want to know what your feedback is on Rated M Power Rangers. I thought it was fantastic. I think Saban is overreacting, but Shinwar did make some good points that he wants to protect his brand, and we'll just take it from there. So we'll see you on the next segment. For those of us on YouTube, live folks, be on standby. We'll hit you up in a bit. Peace.